All right, everybody, welcome. We're ready to get through some spring rolls. I know everybody was really excited about them, so this will be a little bit different than the sous vide class because we're actually going to be prepping. But I am going to talk about how to prep, which I think is the hardest thing with doing your spring rolls, is doing all the prep work and the varieties that are in there. So I'm going to be talking for just a little bit on what I've done and give you some ideas. So it's more of I want you to kind of really think of this class as something to just start giving you the incentive to do these, and then we'll then get into how to do them. So if you can all see, I started with, we cut the vegetables, so I have like spinach, cabbage, we have some endive, alfalfa sprouts are really good. I did try to do bean sprouts, but our grocery store, we're having trouble with bean sprouts here right now, but bean sprouts are really good. Carrots, peppers, we have cucumbers and green onions, avocados, which I can't eat, but we have them here because a lot of people like them. And then my two favorite herbs to put into any of the spring rolls will be mint and cilantro. So I sometimes will mix them, sometimes I'll separate them out. So what you actually want to do is do the things that you like, the vegetables you like. You know, if there's certain things that you don't like, then don't put them in. There's no perfect recipe for spring rolls, and I really kind of want to emphasize that. These are your creations. I create them differently all the time. What's in hand. So I will talk about, though, that we can do these for party. I do these a lot for parties, but I also want to know that you can do these just even for a few. If you just want to do a couple for dinner, go ahead and do them. I'll break it down a little bit more how you can do that, but let's say you just have some extra vegetables and you just want to do a quick roll up, and they just taste great. So it doesn't have to be this mass amount of spring rolls, and you can actually just do a couple of them at a time. So that's really fun, because we do eat these probably weekly, if not more. So I have to give a shout out to Derek and Chloe. Chloe is Derek's girlfriend, and she's actually from Korea. And she's the one that introduced me and taught me how to do these. So we've been doing them for almost probably good 6 months to a year now. So I really appreciate that. It's always good to learn things. There's plenty of things to learn from other people, and she definitely gave us a great additive to our meals around here. They're very light, they're healthy. You will be gluten-free if you want to be. The rice paper, any of the vegetables you use are all gluten-free, so just in case you guys are gluten-free, by all means, go ahead. You'll just watch what protein you're going to put in there. If you're vegetarian, obviously this will be really good, but I will talk about the proteins that we will add, or that we do, or we do mixtures with this. Even as you're prepping your board, and believe me, that is probably the longest thing, but it really takes about, everything that I did here was probably about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And there's a lot more than you would probably need. I actually did more in volume to show you more varieties. You do not have to have all of these on your prep board. Basically you need about 4 items, 4 vegetables. Again, it's what you're gonna like, but you don't need all of this. But you will, before you start working with the actual rolling of the spring rolls, you will need to cut and prep your area and be ready. This is not something you wanna go grab something, because once we start rolling them or getting the rice paper working, you need to be working. I'm going to talk about our proteins just a little bit. I do chicken, shrimp, we do crab meat. I'm going to show you just a couple of the, ooh, I lost my bag of chicken. Do you mind grabbing me a bag of the chicken? I have to honestly tell you, there is, you guys can go and work as hard as you want. If you want to grill chicken for your spring rolls, or let's say you grilled chicken and you had extra, then I would use that to make my spring roll. But if you're just in the mood of making spring rolls, I don't think I would go and take all the time to actually go grill more chicken. But if you, like I said, if you did grilled chicken one night and you had leftovers, what a great way to actually turn that, leftover into something completely different by doing spring rolls. So your grilled chicken. But I just wanted to show you guys just a couple of things that I always keep in my freezer, because we do make these quite a bit. and this makes my life just a little bit easier. There's different groups, but they have these grilled, ready. They come in chunks. There's shredded. You can literally go in, let's say you just want to make a couple, you just grab like a handful out of these bags. You don't have to, thaw out the whole bag. And then I just let that thaw out. So you can just kind of go in and grab these. So I really kind of just keep these on because this is really a good, like I said, we do eat the spring rolls now pretty often. The crab meat I have bought like in little jars. Costco's got them. Usually your grocery store has them. But again, if you had crab, go for it. But to me, it's really good. They have those packages that are already done for the crab. Shrimp, again, actually I have a bag of shrimp frozen, but usually I will buy fresh shrimp. But I usually keep that in there too, frozen if we want to have some shrimp. So I can still give myself variety. If I still want to do some chicken, some shrimp, or, that I already taken from frozen, I can still make a variety of my spring rolls, even if I'm just going to make a few for us at home. So I just wanted to kind of share that. I know I've been asked probably the most, or I probably have shared this the most, is this peanut sauce. The brand, I will show you the link to this, but we have tried many peanut sauces. I have made many peanut sauces. Fabulous to make your own, especially if you really have one you like. Again, this is more my convenience, that I like just always having this on hand. I will use this for other things like meats and everything, but I like the convenience of just being able to grab this. It's probably more of a time issue for me sometimes, that if I don't have hours to, worry about making your peanut sauce, worry about making your chicken, this is a very quick meal for you to put together. Your basic time will be just prepping your vegetables or what you have on hand. The rest of this just kind of is fillers coming in. So I hope that helps a little bit there with your, and then the other thing, and we have worked with a couple different brands for the rice papers. The Dynasty, there's not that there's a bad one. We just found the consistency of this Dynasty brand was really easier for us to work with. So again, I'm just going to share that, but not that there's bad ones, but we just found that this brand was really easy for us to maneuver a little differently than the other brands. So we will talk about how we're going to do the rice paper, but I just want to share a couple of the favorite brands, or kind of my prepping area for you guys. Okay? So, the wraps. So, we need our board prepped first for all cutting our vegetables. If you're going to add a protein, just have that set out to the side. So, I almost have my little assembly line here that I'm going to do. The other thing you're going to need is a bowl. Or you can use a 9-inch pie plate if you want. You just need some depth because we're going to be dipping our rice paper into this water. I think the hardest and most mistakes that I started doing when we were doing this was the temperature of this water. My tap water doesn't get super hot. It gets hot, but not super hot. I usually will keep a teapot, which sorry you guys can't see right now, but I just have a hot teapot next to there. You will probably make 2 to 3 of your rolls, you can hear it going, 2 to 3 of your wraps by the time you process them before you will kind of probably need to adjust the temperature of your water. It is not too hot that you cannot stick your fingers in here. It is not, once you figure out that spot that you know that temperature needs to be, this will be very easy for you guys. The hardest thing will honestly be is getting used to your rice paper and getting used to the consistency of this. So again, it's not so hot that you're burning your fingers, but it's definitely warm on the hotter side that you know, like, okay, it's still in there. It does cool down, that's why I say depending how fast you are in doing your preps, you might need to change this water. So I usually just keep my teapot there, add a little bit of hot water. I also found I didn't like my consistency of the water after about 6. I can do 6 for sure, with maybe sometimes adding some hot water in there. But after about 6, I like to dump this water, and then I go freshen up my water again. It just got a little cloudier, and it was a little harder to work with the rice paper, so that's why I think about 6, you're good. Get some more hot water from the sink. If you need to make it a little warmer, just add some boiling water in there or whatever. So you'll figure it out. I also will keep, I've also done it where I started with my hot water and I add cold. So I'm not trying to complicate this, but I'm just trying to give you what I learned, because this part is probably your number one part that you just need to get familiar with. I will share a couple things that happened with me, because give yourself probably 3 of these wrappers as we go through them to screw up. It will take about that amount of, just to start getting the feel of the paper and what you want it to feel like. So believe me, the first time I had my water too hot, I put my rice paper in here and it shriveled like in seconds. And I'm like, okay, so I threw it away. I need to cool down my water. So give yourself some room to feel okay. It will, like I said, this is probably once you get through this point, you'll be really good. The other thing you're going to need, and we'll come back to that, is a ceramic plate. I have heard online that you can do towels. I personally like a ceramic plate because once I pull this rice paper out of here, I like to maneuver it on this plate. The first time I did it, I stuck it on my board and it stuck and I couldn't get it up. So don't stick it on the board. You need to have some sort of plate. Mine just raises a teeny bit, so it kind of just gives me, as you see, we'll be moving these to be a little bit more flexible. So make sure you just have a ceramic plate. Any old plate or corral probably would even work. Do you think we can split screen soon? I think we're going to try to split screen, so hang on. Sorry guys for this, but I want you to be able to see what's going on the board. So bear with us. I will show you though, and I'm going to start with, depending on everything that you guys are, your vegetables or everything that you're using, you doing okay?
Yeah, I just need to connect.
Okay. Sorry guys, bear with us. I'm going to see if I can keep trying to talk to you guys about things. If you have any I wanted to let you know though, even though I'm not reading and I can't see what you guys are commenting on, believe me, after the class, I'm going to go to my computer and I will be able to comment. So if you have questions or anything that you want to talk to me more about, by all means, I will answer that. I just don't want to do it now. So I will see all your comments. I'm so very thankful that you guys are all in here. It really means a lot to me. I really, really appreciate it. Glad you're excited about spring rolls. And I'm going to get started just so we can keep moving here. I am just demonstrating right now on a dry rice paper. So I want to kind of tell you what we're going to be doing so that it can, because once the rice paper starts, I'm going to be moving. So I've got a dry piece of rice paper. Normally this will be moistened from the hot water and it'll be like this flexible moving paper. You'll see me as I'm moving forward with it, what's going to happen to it. But keep in mind when you're making, that's okay, Janet.
Yeah, I don't know why it's
okay,
not acting.
Sorry guys, I guess we won't be able to split screen.
Oh.
Nope.
There.
Okay. We're not going to split screen, but I will let you know how to rewatch this as you guys get going, and you'll be able to zoom in, and I do have some videos of us doing close-ups. So we'll actually video me being very close up to this, so I apologize, but we're going to keep moving. So I'm just demonstrating on this, like I said, a dry piece of rice paper. When you are doing this, you are going to keep about a 1/2 inch perimeter from the outside of this, not to have filling in it. You want to create what I call a pile. We're first going to create a pile of any vegetables that we want on top of each other. If you are going vegetarian, and you are not adding any protein, you may fill this area up just a little bit stronger. If you are adding a protein, and when we show the finished egg roll and you want to say no that it's shrimp or no that it's chicken or whatever your filling is, because people like to know usually what's inside of there, that will be sitting in front of what we create as our pile of vegetables. So always create your pile, your protein, and then that will show when we end up rolling this, they'll see the vegetables, but then they'll actually see the protein. So especially if you're doing a variety of things, which I usually tend to do, people like to know what they can grab or not grab on there. When you're creating your pile, you always, to me, I usually start with like spinach. So I'll have spinach down here. The other really good thing that works really good to pile is Endive. Endive has like a little cup on it, and it kind of just holds all your vegetables together too. I know I'm going to be talking about different vegetables. What you put on here is really your creativity, your taste, what you want on here. Even when I'm making like a dozen of these, none of them are the same. I don't have this set like this has to go, that has to go. I kind of look at my board and start grabbing. It's really, to me, it's about color. I like to make sure I like some reds or oranges or other things on here because it makes your egg roll prettier. So I'm going to probably talk about different bases for my piles and whatever you want to do. We have done arugula, so if this wants to be arugula. You can use lettuce. You'll see if you want to just do lettuce on the bottom. So I usually start off with like my spinach, my lettuce, or anything like that. If you like red, so then I just kind of look at my board and I start grabbing things. I'll add a few carrots, I'll add a few peppers, I might want cucumbers in this one, not want it, and I just keep building my board. I will be grabbing chicken just for this particular one. So I will be sitting that, and I'm going to see if Chad at this point, maybe can you zoom in on this by any means?
I could bring them in closer.
Yeah, we're actually going to we can bring in the whole iPad. You won't see me for a while, but you'll definitely be able to, that might be a little close. Oh, there we go. And then just shift it a teeny bit. Does that help? Hopefully that helps, guys, to see that works. Okay, I think we're good. That might help. So you're going to start with about 1 inch out from your string, and I know you're not going to see the paper right now just because it's clear, but you're going to start about 1 inch closest to you. So, because you're always going to roll away from you. So my tile started 1 inch from this end, and it will be about 1/2 inch from here. Keep in mind when you are making these, because I just went and grabbed another piece of chicken, I usually cut them in half. So I want everything to be, when somebody takes a bite, they're gonna get a piece of chicken. I wouldn't put 2 shrimp in here. I would definitely, well, end up getting big shrimp, but I'd have 3 probably in here. So be generous. You're gonna be fine rolling this and see how you kind of do for thickness, but that is about what mine would start looking like before I roll. Herbs, I absolutely adore, as you guys know, fresh herbs. So I have cilantro and mint. I sometimes will mix both cilantro and mint, it tastes fabulous together. But if you like cilantro, you could probably even do basil if you were kind of in whatever mood you were in. Go ahead and do basil. I think the freshness of herbs on these spring rolls is what brings it to life, and what people like about them is that freshness. So this is about what I would look like when I'm going to start my spring roll. So now we're going to talk about the actual water. Here we go. I think we're good there. So I'm just testing my water, and it definitely has cooled down because I've been talking to you guys. So I just got to the point, like for me, I know like where's that point of this is going to start getting too hot for me to be able to keep my hand in here. That's the best way I can explain this. Another little trick I'm going to tell you, don't use your wet hand when you grab your rice papers. So they come in a little stack like this. The moment you get this wet, as you're trying to grab another rice paper, it will stick together and you won't be able to pull these out singularly. So just a little tip, either pat your fingers dry to grab your next rice paper, but once, even if you touch it with a little finger, it will stick to the next rice paper. So here we go. Hopefully this will show up. This, you stick the whole rice paper right into your bowl. You are probably about 15, 20 seconds. This is determinant more about how hot or how warm, that your water's not hot enough that it will take. When it's in here, I'm going to start pulling out. You can start to see, I don't know if you can see it, but it's starting to move. See it? So that's not quite there enough, so I'm going to keep it in there just a little bit longer. There's little ridges, and if you now notice, they're gone. So I'm just going to keep it in it's enough that I can move this paper, and don't freak out if it's not this perfect thing right now. So there's my paper, and I'm laying it down on my sheet, on my plate. I am now just going to take my fingers and just pull on it a little bit, and just kind of get it flat and get it going to be smooth. You have time here. Once this is wet, it's not like you have to panic or rush in here, but I'm going to go back, and this time I'm going to do Endive. So I'm 1 inch away from the side closest to me, and I'm going to lay my Endive. I have cut my vegetables that it will be about 1 inch to anywhere at half inch, just the width, because that makes my life a little bit easier. So I hope that made sense. Cabbage, things like this though, that I shredded more, I just might throw a few of those in there. My carrots, I love having crunchy things in here, so let's say you're not a real fan of like carrots, I would get something crunchy in here. So when you're taking bites of egg roll, it's nice to have a nice mixture. And I completely forgot, hang on 1 second. Okay, one more ingredient we have. And it doesn't have to be used, but I really like them in my spring rolls. They're vermicelli, what is it called? Vermicelli rice noodles. So I had pre-cooked them, and let's see, there we go. I pre-cooked them and they've been sitting, so they're a little on the cooler side now. The bag looks like, this is the brand, again, it's just what we tend to like, but this is a Taste of Thai vermicelli. There's other ingredients that similar, which are fine, but again, this just happens to be our preference that we like here. So again, you don't have to put them in, but we just tend to like it. So I'm just gonna grab a small handful and I'm spreading it right on top of my pile that I'm creating. Doesn't have to be perfect, neat. If it's rolling over, you guys are good. We like things like cucumbers and green onions, but I know there's a lot of people that don't like onions. So I'm just gonna start building on anything that I have in here that I really like. And I'll do avocado because I know a lot of people here like avocados, so I'll throw an avocado on there. There is my pile. I can roll this up as is without any other protein. I will be adding shrimp this time. So these are actually bigger shrimp than I normally do. Sometimes these are like jumbo, but I will put 3. 3 is usually my number that I will run across here because it makes it easier. But now looking at this, if I cut this in half, it'll be perfect because each one person will get 1 full shrimp. So these are the jumbo, so I might do that again next time. You can, and this is really up to you, and sometimes it's just because I forget as I'm making these, but a lot of people like to just put a very small, just run of the Thai sauce right into the spring roll. I also have when I serve this, I will have my dipping sauce for it, but some people like to just put a little bit in here, and if you want more, people can go ahead and just keep dipping. So again, it's really, a lot of times I just forget to do it. but it's just a nice little additive on there. So I've just got my shrimp in there cold, nothing cooked or anything like that. 2 ways to roll this. So I'm going to tell you both, and there's not a right or wrong, so you can come in like an envelope. So I'm going to pull up my side and bring it in. I'm going to pull in this side and bring it in like a little envelope. Now I'm talking a little much, so you need to work a little quicker than I am. But now I'm going to pull the side closest to me. What I like to do is that pile we created, I usually will start and pull that first lip into that pile. I like to leave, if I have a protein, I like to leave it out because when I roll, it just shows up a little bit better. So I'm going to pull the side closest to me forward over my pile, and then I'm just going to start rolling it. And that is what you will get. So this is why the view where I like to put my protein or anything that I'm doing in front of my pile, because it shows up really quickly. Is that pretty good?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's all showing up really well.
Perfect. And then I usually will cut this in half and it will go on my plate that I start serving. I'm going to show you a few more just to kind of go through it a little quicker for you, but I also found when I am putting my done ones, again, a ceramic plate works really well. We tried to put it on lettuce, try to make it prettier, and it was sticking to the lettuce, so people were pulling the lettuce when they were trying to grab their spring roll. I do like to cut it in half because it just shows up really pretty. I just want to show that to you guys really quick. And then this is the inside of your spring roll. So it's a really pretty display. Sometimes you can prop them up if you're doing really well. Sometimes I'll lay them down next to it if I want to do that. But the material of what you are going to serve this on, it really needs to be more on a ceramic type of material. I did buy long sheets I thought would be pretty to line them up that were more plastic. And again, it kind of got stuck to the plasticness of it. So basically now all I use is anything ceramic, doesn't have to be round, but anything on a ceramic end for serving. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. So we're gonna go just a couple more and show you another way that I roll them. So I'm still pretty good with my water. Again, I probably would have, during this whole time of talking to you guys, rolled about 6 of them already. They do go fast. Again, I'm talking. So you can see how rigid it is when it first goes in, and don't forget not to use wet fingers going in, and you just let it set. You can see it start moving. You'll see it kind of getting very flexible. You can still see now, that's a good reflection, you can still see those lines are in there. I know it's not done. This is not flexible enough for me to maneuver. So it goes back in. And just let it sit there for just a little bit longer. And again, if you make some mistakes on here, you can start seeing see now how flexible it's starting to get, and I have to work at it a little bit to pull it apart. There you know you're done. So I'm going to lay it back out on my plate, and I still have time, because you are kind of having a lot of moisture still on here with the water, so you're not having to drip dry this or anything. Pull it out, and then the water, because of the warmth of it still in your hand, you can still kind of spread this out onto your plate. So I'm gonna do spinach this time just so you see how pretty the green looks. At the first beginning, we love peppers around here, so I'm gonna do peppers. I love all. As you can tell, I'm not a fan of green peppers, that's why they're not here. And then there's a lot of other greeneries that I like cucumbers and everything. So it does help to have a few varieties of color to just show. I'm a huge fan of cilantro, so I'm throwing cilantro in there. And this time I decided I'm going to do crab. So again, you're about 1 inch on each end. You are working on the side closest to you, 1 inch and 1 inch here. So there's 1 inch on here, each of these ends, and 1 inch forward. I tend to, I don't know why, you can roll that side forward right away, and then roll up your sides. There is really not anything I found makes a difference on how your spring roll rolls up. It's just probably habit. So that's more my habit, is to do it that way. So again, I just rolled up the side closest to me, which is about an inch, and you kind of have room to pull, and then I just start rolling it. And then you can see how pretty the chicken, and then I have some greenery on that side. To me, it's actually fun to play around with like looks that I like. Just things turned out really pretty and colorful. And again, I don't do anything really the same. I don't have a set recipe for this. So kind of just play, have fun, learn, like whether it's arugula or whether it's spinach or endive. Any of those things are really good. So please just have fun with this. This is just more kind of giving you guys ideas of things that I like to do or the products that we use. But you will see in a little bit, I ended up getting very experimental on some of my spring rolls. So they were a huge hit, and they will now be keepers for the family. So I'm not quite there yet. I don't know if you can still see some of the lines that are in there. You almost need those lines to be away. And I know I've said this before, but please, if you make some mistakes or some of them just, and you need to just throw it away, it's a piece of rice paper. It's not that big of a deal. So I'm just gonna lay this back down. I can work through these, once you start getting the hang of this, you work through these so fast. And again, your biggest thing here is, and I'm gonna do orange here just because I feel like it. I'm not gonna put down any lettuce. I'm doing more vegetables because I feel like it. And cucumbers and some onions, and I'm going mint. So as you see, I forgot to put the sauce on when I did that one because I tend to just get it's a creative time, it's a fun time. The other thing that I don't know if you could have seen them, I love alfalfa sprouts. These are fabulous. Sometimes they are difficult to get, but those are beautiful to go in there. So I'll just lay a bunch of alfalfa sprouts. So I'm going to go more vegetarian feeling on this one. I will add just a little bit of sauce. So I'm just going to do a line of it. So because this one I have not done a protein in front, I'm going to just pull up my sides. And again, it's up to you guys if you want to pull up your sides or not pull up your sides. Sorry, I was trying not to dump my whole thing of. So this time, because I really didn't need to show anything, I'm just going to kind of pull my whole pile together. And you've got room in here. You can see I'm pulling this towards me. That's why I like to start on that end. I am actually maneuvering this rice paper to pull towards me. And then I will roll it up. And this will be a complete vegetarian one. So we'll cut that so you can see that. I don't know if people have asked any questions, or if you need to, you can Chad's behind the computer for me right now, because I'm going to just keep talking. I didn't show how pretty that one turned out. That one turned out really pretty. So again, it's color, it's variety. People love to try new things, and you might end up really liking one way of doing it. By all means, go ahead and do it. But I have found things to be seasonal or different, or sometimes I like more mint or basil in there. So it's just whatever mood I'm in, or what I actually have in the refrigerator, to be honest, when doing this. So, and I also, I'm gonna just do one more while I'm here, just to show you. So hopefully you guys are all getting this. That got a little hot. But you will work, I can do 6 to 12 in probably 15 minutes. Once you're working with it, this goes really fast, and I'm slowing the process down just by showing. But by the time you get your paper, this is about, like I said, 15-ish, probably not even. So you're just trying to get flexible.
I have a question.
Oh, okay. And I'm going to roll and show you how quickly all this transpires while Chad asks me what the question is.
Actually, you have 2 questions.
I have 2 questions. Let's go.
Debbie Roth asks,
My sister?
do you serve room temperature?
Okay, I am going to touch base on it. I do. once these are done, they go out. You can store these in the refrigerator. Like if I'm doing a party or I just am doing it early before dinner accumulates, you can put them in the refrigerator, and they can be cold. And it will be your preference for that. But more times than not, one, these are being eaten faster than I am making them. And I'm usually serving them right away. But let's say I'm saving them for dinner or just want to do it a little earlier. I definitely will put them in the refrigerator. You do need to make sure, so as long as you ask the question, I'll talk about storage here. You do need to make sure it's an airtight container that's going into the refrigerator to keep these, because the rice paper will dry out. So let's say I made up this tray that's over here, and I usually will have my sauce in the middle, because I don't want to work on too many plates and everything on so I will set up, I made up my beautiful plate. I will take saran wrap and cover this real tight, make sure everything is sealed on this, and it can go in the refrigerator. You can store this overnight. I give it, I usually will give it about 24 hours is about when the texture of it will start changing. Chad, we could probably go normal for me now,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
No.
You can, the texture changes a little, but it's not that they're bad, but I do like the texture. So 24 hours is about my limit that I like to store this. And again, if it's cold, but you know, like if you have your shrimp and your crab deb, you're probably going to want, and I would sit on the table for like 2-3 hours, but within probably an hour or so, you're probably really good. If not, just throw it in the refrigerator and go that route. So hopefully that helped.
A lot of people are asking again for the sauce that you're using.
I know, everybody's asking me for this sauce. This was even Chloe cleared 100%. I will be having, I'm going to share that in just a minute, how to go. I will be putting a link on my website, but this is Watch a Tree. I get this on Amazon. I know Derek and Chloe, like the way we do recipes around here or try new things, we usually will buy 3 or 4 varieties of anything, and then we taste test, and this by far, hands down. Oh, Chad's going to, oh, thank you, Chad.
I could type it, yeah.
Perfect. So Chad's going to type it in.
Watch.
You can have that if you want. They have other types of sauces online, but the people are so sweet. They actually follow me on Instagram. They're really nice people, which I always like supporting that. Amazon, I get it directly through Amazon, but I know they picked it up at Whole Foods. I have not seen it in my regular Kroger, like you guys have Kroger, but our grocery store routes did not have it. So I keep stocked up on that. There will always be about 6 jars, because again, we like to eat these. But I actually tried that with meat one time, and it was so good. Yeah, and I actually took, and you could use beef on here. I just don't. I don't know why. For me, I just don't see beef in spring rolls, but I know some people do that. But I did use this marinade, or the dipping sauce on a meat one time in the sous vide, and let it kind of soak through the meat, and it was so good. So, and they have other types, so I'm actually going to start trying them more. But it's Thai peanut sauce. Chad, I think, typed it all in for everybody, and I will show you how to get it on my website. I will get a link on there for the website, because I think that's what I mostly asked. And the brands that I'm used to, I will put those on. Like, I really like the Dynasty brand of the rice paper. Chad, I'll let him.
Oh, yeah, someone asked where did you get this
there
from?
There you go. So actually the rice paper, oh, thanks, Chad. I did find that at my grocery store, Kroger. World Market had it one time, and again, Amazon. So I have usually about 6 stacks of these. You know, these are things I keep in my pantry at all times. So Amazon, Whole Foods, or no, wait, I don't know if Whole Foods has it now because I didn't look for it there. World Market has carried it, and your Kroger, our Ralph's has them, that brand. So it's Dynasty, so whatever is easiest for there. And I'm also going to give you, I know my sister and I had this conversation about these noodles. These Taste of Thai, these vermicelli rice noodles, sometimes they'll make you do more of or I've seen it where it's done like with a thicker consistency. These aren't slimy. They're soft, but and it's a nice bite. When you're biting into this spring roll, you're not like stringing along with all this. You can bite through it so it's soft enough. This just cooks for like 3 minutes, and it's a real quick cook. The other thing I will tell you, when you're making your spring roll and you're prepping your board, that needs to go first so that it has time to cool down. Especially, Deb, like you were asking about whether you're serving this cold, I would not want that hot noodle put on with cold shrimp if I'm doing that way.
Another question from Alessandra is, can I use chopped tuna or is it too heavy?
Oh my gosh, that'd be a great idea. Fabulous idea. Go for it.
There you go.
Especially with that sauce, or if you like, I would make sure I salt pepper my tuna just to give it a little bit of oomph, but oh my god, tuna would be fabulous. Be actually really good.
Is there anything that is too heavy?
You know, when you talk about being too heavy, and I want to try it because I don't like saying things that I don't do or that, but I have never tried it. Like I would probably try beef and do like in really tiny slivers of beef. But I just think when you're biting down on that, and you know how sometimes to bite down on beef, unless that beef is super tendy, you might be pulling it out of your egg roll, and I don't see the beef. That's why I do like this happened to be the chunk chicken that I use. It's called Ready and Grilled. Oh, that might be in the Grilled Ready. It's in your freezer section. So I did, oh there it is. So this is chunks, but they do have shredded. So I found I can lay the shredded down here too, but I liked the chunk better for the spring rolls because again, when you're taking a bite, you're trying to be somewhat polite about this. And if you have all this stringy stuff coming out, I just didn't work for me. So I like the chunk a little bit better than the shredded. Any other questions here?
Not
So
at
there's
this
my
time.
next one. All right. So we're going to move on. I'm going to, so we talked actually about, because of Debbie's question about storing this. So you could, about 24 hours is about the most I would do. That I found that it got a little, the texture of the rice paper just dried out a little much, but just make sure you seal this. I will say airtight container, but because they do like to stick together. So I'm going to tell you that too. If you're lining up your things like this next to each other, they will stick together, and it's hard. You can even see because it's a pull just for that few seconds. So when I am displaying these, they are separated so that people aren't pulling on. Oh, I got a sticky note here. So people aren't pulling on them, or I might lay them, you know, along my tray like that. But I try not to have them touch. And again, I tried lettuce and that didn't work. I tried to make the plate prettier with everything, but the less is actually the prettiest of the spring rolls. So you could probably do, you know, I just did it this way. You could probably do 2 rows of like half spring rolls. You could do your whole spring roll. I just like to cut it in half because I think they're pretty. But you could just lay one whole strip of egg roll on here too. And then have my sauce in the middle or on the side and stack a few there. So that's the serving issues I ran into on how they serve when you're trying to like grab them. On my website, which went live, yourvisionlife.com. This will be on there also, but if you go on there and under the one tab, I'd love to have you guys go there. In the kitchen, you will see this recipe as best as I could put it together. I also put in separate pictures of each of the details of like your prep board, what that looks like, I think I had your proteins in there, and try to give you as many suggestions. I will be putting this video on there. I think sometimes as you're re-watching this, you might just want to fast forward to what does she do again, you know, to a certain part, so you don't have to re-watch me all over again. But this way you can kind of just use it as a reference because you might forget a couple of things that you did or that I did that you might just want to go revisit real quick before you do it again. So the video will be on in the kitchen area. If you go to, actually if you hit the blog, because it's actually a blog, you can actually print this recipe out and see some of it, actually just have it printed. I just tend to like things printed, or you can just watch my video on there. I do have joined the newsletter. I'm not sending a bunch of crap out, but about once a month, the homepage changes and there'll be all new ideas for the month coming. So March, you're going to be seeing a lot of things for spring and Easter and tablescaping and some recipes. I'm going to put together a bunch of recipes that might be a good dinner menu kind of thing. Give provoking of just what March feels like to me. So I would love if you did that. If you follow me or like me or whatever the term is for Facebook, Instagram, all of the above, the business page of it, a lot of people aren't liking the business page. You will get little snippets. I'll do a little quick snippet on spring rolls when I go do experiment more on different things that we're doing in here. I'm going to, now this is a really fun part. So that's what you will see more like if you're on my Facebook page or on my Instagram part. And actually if you go to my website, I will be putting these recipes that I will be showing you now because they turned out really, really good. And I will add this to my repertoire of doing spring rolls. I do have on there, and I just want to let you know why I have it on there. I have a private Facebook group. So if you're on my homepage, you'll see, if you go on the bottom, you'll see and follow me on Instagram and all that stuff. But I do have a private Facebook group. And this group's really important to me because I love to see what you guys do. I know a lot of people don't want to show recipes or screw ups, or you should be very proud of yourself when your spring roll looks gorgeous. I would love to see what Alessandra had the tuna. I'd love to know how that, all of us would like to hear that. So it's kind of a group that we really share, and we should build each other up. We should celebrate when we do something really good. And it's a safe place. It's not public. I clear you to be on this group. If there's anything nasty going or saying or politics or any of the above, you're out of the group. This is truly about happiness and celebrating all of us, men, women, whatever you are, to enjoy all the food you're making and let us help you or give us ideas. I know Denise posted some things and she's now slamming it after the sous vide class on her fillets, and that's really cool. And I think we can learn from each other. This is what this whole thing is about, is learning and helping each other and sharing. So I will be posting privately. I will probably eventually get these onto my website, but I will be posting these privately to you guys that are if you're on the Facebook group. These are my new babies. So this one, where'd it go? Oh, okay, there we go. So actually, and I'm not going to demonstrate these. I am just going to show them to you because I'm now just trying to make you think out of the box a little, because we know what basic spring rolls tend to be of vegetables. These are phenomenal. So this is an avocado sesame. So what I did, I can't eat avocados, but Derek and Chloe ate tons of these, and we'll be making more. So it's avocado, cabbage, and spinach. I think it's spinach. Yeah. That's all that's in there. But then with that, I made a honey miso sauce. So it's a little spicy. Oh, and mint. I'm sorry. And mint was in here. But it's done with a honey miso sauce. Like I said, it's a little on the spicy end, but hey, it was good. By the time you dip your spring roll in there and you have all the beautiful veggies and everything, it's absolutely favorite. So this has become one of our new favorites. So I will be posting all this because I just experimented with this today before the class started. And that's what I want to express to you guys. Just try. If you're even interested in this, which I hope you are, but try different things. If they're like the tuna is fabulous. I've never done it, but I'm anxious to hear how you did. This one is my, this is my favorite actually. Do you know that strawberry arugula salad? I also do a watermelon arugula salad that we did. I actually made spring rolls with it. So this has arugula, strawberries, and chicken in it. And in that, like I said, I just did these today. I did this has the poppy seed dressing. Killer good. So I'll have the recipe for the poppy seed dressing in here. This actually tastes like a salad in your mouth, but it's done in a spring roll. Oh, this one of my days. Then I did, this was Derek's actually favorite. And again, it's almost like another salad feeling. So this was just chicken avocado. So this had lettuce, cilantro, and chicken. And it basically, again, is like another little salad. This I did with a cilantro, which was really good. Cilantro dipping sauce. You could, I guess, put technically avocados in here, but I wanted to enjoy it, so I didn't. But, so I would just make mine without the avocado, and I would have like a small, it's not like a Caesar salad, but it's kind of on that round. So it's almost like another little salad there. These are just fun. I'm just trying to have you guys think a little bit. There's no right or wrong to these. They're just fun to do. This was a little dessert that I did. This has strawberry, kiwi, and mango. And in there I just did a really light, like a lemon lime. I'm trying to think of all the things that I put in. There's not much in here. It was a honey lime dipping sauce that I just did. So you can see it's a little runnier on this one, but it's almost like an after spring roll. Like, so if you were creating a tray of these, you would have this maybe at the end just to kind of give somebody a little sweetness of the palate. But these were really good. And you could probably do different combinations of fruits on there too if you wanted. So, I think we're done, everybody, other than the winner of the gift. So I don't know if there's any other questions before I go. Please private message me if you'd like. I got a lot of phone calls after the sous vide. I'm happy to take them. As you're working through these, if there's something in particular that you need. So, I think we're done. So thank you guys, everybody, for being here. I really, really appreciate it. And Chad's gonna tell me. So we had a cute little basket. Sorry about my backs to you guys. I pulled my vermicelli noodles out of there. So Chad, do you have the list of people logging in?
I do.
Okay.
It's what number?
I'm gonna tell you who the number is. Is number 2 today, 1. And Chad's gonna see who was the second person logged in, and we're gonna send off, and I actually put a cute little cup in here. Oop.
Just double checking.
Oh.
Oh, I did it again. Sorry, guys.
So whoever does win, we'll make sure just to private message me your address, and we'll get it out to you.
Looks like Leanne Jones.
No, Leanne. Seriously?
Yeah.
She won the last time. Congratulations, Leanne. This is not planned, people. This is not planned. I picked a totally different number. So, Leanne, you're just going to get your new kitchen filled with lots of new fun stuff. So, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I didn't mean to take too much of your time, but please let me know if you have questions. Go check out my website. There'll be more things on there for you to do. So, have a wonderful rest of the Sunday afternoon, evening, if you guys are out east. And Leanne, I have your address, girl. So take care, everybody. Bye-bye.